Hi Dawn, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, my name is Paige Kreppel. I'm a social worker at the Salisbury Counseling Center. Before we get started on our assessment today, we're just going to go over a couple forms.
Okay.
Basically, it's just some things that we just need to go over just so we're both on the same page before we get our assessment going. Okay?
All right.
Okay, so the first form we're going to go over is our client's rights. The client's rights says, while you're receiving service from our care and our providers, you have the right to a high standard of care and service. You have the right to be treated with courtesy, respect, and dignity. You have a right to be informed of all the services that are available to you from our counseling center. You have a right to review your records by submitting a written request to our administrator. You have a right to make suggestions and changes to your treatment plan at any time. You have a right to discontinue or transfer services at any time. And you have a right to receive care that is specific to your needs despite any physical limitations or language barriers. And lastly, if you have any concerns or problems concerning your care or anything we discussed, you can call this number down here and you can express your concerns to that number. Does that all make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just sign that for me. And if you want to see this at any time throughout the assessment or our future meetings, just let me know.
Okay.
All right, so the next one we need to go over is the limits of confidentiality. Everything that we talk about in this room is going to be kept between me and you. It doesn't leave this room. It doesn't go anywhere, except for a few things. There are some exceptions. I'm a mandated reporter, so if you tell me anything involving a child being physically, sexually abused or neglected, I'm mandated to report this information to the local Department of Social Services. If you report information about a vulnerable adult being abused or neglected, I'm required to report this information to the Department of Social Services. If you are at risk for harming yourself or someone else, we are required to ensure your safety as well as other individuals. So I have to report that as well. So just those kind of things I have to assist me about.
Okay.
Is that okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, sign this for me. Okay, and then just one last question before we get started. I'm going to take some notes just to have on file. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And if any time you want to see what I'm writing down, just let me know.
Okay.
It's just so I understand everything you're saying. All right, Dawn, so what's bringing you in today?
So recently I've been really stressed out between work, I guess, and my kids. They've been having difficulty at school. They've been really acting out, and I haven't been able to get them to sleep a lot lately.
So it sounds like you're saying that you're having a hard time balancing between your work and managing your children.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you married?
I was. He recently passed away.
He did pass away?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who's been watching the children when you're at work?
So mainly it's just me. My daughter is enrolled in daycare, and my son, he's in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess when I'm not there, they're at school or daycare. But other than that, it's just always me.
Okay. So how does that make you feel?
It's just like I said, I'm very stressed. I feel very isolated from, adults or other people.
Okay. All right, so how would you describe a typical week in your life?
So I, get up, get the kids ready for school as best I can because they don't want to get up. And then I get them off to school and daycare. I go to work, and then I come home, and it's just me and the kids again.
What time do you guys get up in the morning?
We have to get Michael to school by 8:30, so we're up at 6:30, 7-ish.
And how old's Michael?
He's 6.
Okay. And then your daughter is how old?
Grace, she's 3.
Grace is 3. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So it sounds like the situation is giving you a lot of just overwhelming feelings that you just need help coping with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Do you have any friends in the area?
I have the friends of Michael's friends at school, his parents, their parents and stuff, but we're not close friends.
Okay. And you said your parents do live next door?
Yes, they do. They live very close, right down the road.
Okay. Well, what do you say some of your strengths are?
I feel that I'm very hardworking, independent. I guess it's, I'm determined to be a good mom and.
Do you go to your children's PTAs? Your kids have any PTAs?
Not right now because they're so young, but I definitely would be involved if I have time to do that.
So, what career do you have?
I work as a secretary at a law office right now.
Okay. So it sounds like your career is very high demanding.
Yes.
Okay. So that takes a lot of your time. Okay. Well, is your family really in the picture? Are they willing to help a lot with children, or what's that situation like?
My parents have offered to help. I just don't want to burden them with like leaving my kids with them all the time. I feel like it's more they're my kids. I should take care of them.
Okay. So it sounds like, I'm just gonna summarize just that way we kind of go on the same page. So it sounds like, um, you're a single mother and you have the stress of your two children as well as your work. And it's more so that you want to be able to have them under your control, not your parents' control. Like you want to be able to be the one in charge and all that.
Yes.
That sounds about right. Okay. Just verifying. Are you religious at all?
Yes, I actually have really enjoyed going to church when I could, but recently I just haven't had the time and I just haven't gone.
Okay. Does religion play a big part in the way that you function every day?
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. Do you have any siblings?
No, I was the only child. I have a step sibling, I guess, if you want to count that, but
Sibling. Okay.
we're not close, so.
Cool. Well, what do you enjoy doing for fun? Let's do a side note.
Okay. I used to like to paint. It really calmed me down when I would do that, or read a book, or even just like a 30 minutes of watching a TV show by myself without the kids.
Mm-hmm. Did you say that when you used to go to church, did you really enjoy it?
Yes.
You did enjoy your time at church?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you just haven't gone often?
Yeah, I just haven't had the time.
Okay. So would you say that you would like to make more time for it if you had the opportunity to?
Yes.
Okay. Do your children play any sports?
No.
They don't? Is it something that you want to get them involved in?
I feel like it would be good for them, yes, to be active all the time. So I know Michael, he's getting to the age where he could be involved in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed an interest, so I think that would be good for him.
I know a lot of churches do a lot of activities and they do a lot of camps that involve sports and things like that, and a lot of the youth groups. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
Definitely, yes, especially if I can get, Michael involved in things, and even Grace, even though she's young, she could get involved.
Yeah, and I also know that they do a lot of, during the day, they have some of the older students come, and I do know a lot of churches that offer almost like they watch the children as they play sports, after school while you're still at work. That could be a possibility as well, just to manage your time and also give you some free time to breathe too. Okay. So any other relationships? I know you said your husband is not in the picture, but is there any other relationships in your life?
Like I said, I actually would like to start dating or try to, but just with like the time, I just haven't been able to really get out there and do it, especially with my kids. Like I'm constantly with them.
Okay. So when you're overly stressed out and you feel like you're not able to handle your time at all, and you don't know how to handle your time, how do you confront this issue?
Recently I've just been locking myself in a room and trying to calm down. Like, you can do it. Like, you're a good mom, but.
Okay, so it sounds like you are confiding in yourself, which is good, and you're praising yourself. Good. Okay. Let's see. Let me take notes down. Okay. Do you receive any assistance from the government for your children, or
no.
since your husband passed away?
No, we're very financially stable, so
Okay.
I don't qualify for anything.
You are financially stable. Okay. Have you ever considered a nanny?
No.
You don't want to do a nanny at all?
I mean, I just haven't considered it. It could be a good thing for the kids and for me. That way I could focus more on work. But I just haven't thought about it.
Okay. And you have your own means of transportation?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so just a quick summary. It sounds like you would be interested in a nanny, and you are financially capable of doing that, but you do want to spend most of your time with your children. You just want to make a balance between your work and your children. That's mainly what you're just trying to do, is balance it so you can be the main fixture in their life. Is that about right?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Let's see. How far in college did you go?
I graduated with a bachelor's degree.
Okay, you did a bachelor's degree. Okay, what was it?
Just political science.
Okay, and you enjoy that?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. How do you feel around other people?
When I'm around them and I'm in like a good mood, it's a great, like I love being around people and I'm very outgoing when I am, but like recently, essentially, like I said, I just felt to myself and being around a bunch of people, I'm like kind of more quiet, I guess.
How do you think this compares to when you were, say, in college? Like when you were studying for your bachelor's, do you think you were more outgoing in college than you are now?
Definitely. I definitely was always out and doing something or involved in volunteer work or anything really. I was never in my dorm or just sitting.
Okay. But since you've been out into the workforce, it's definitely, and had your children, it's put close the doors a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like just some things that we just need to focus on. It's just some time management and balancing your career, which obviously keeps you financially stable, and keeps, a good living situation for your children and, the care that you have for your children. Okay. How would you say your friends describe you?
They would be very outgoing or, hardworking.
Okay. Well, that's good. Okay, so let's go over a couple major issues that we talked about today. The number one, the first big thing that I think we talked about is I really think we did a good job focaling in on just localizing on the main problem, which is the balance between your career and your family, which is very important. Also, I think we did a really good job picking out the fact that you need to spend more time for yourself and you need to be able to, have a social aspect in your life too, because your happiness is important as well as your children and a good work environment too. How do you think that our meeting went today?
I think it went very well. It'll definitely be helpful, if I keep, talking. It's, getting me out more and just talking about what I'm going through is very helpful.
Okay, so let's just talk about a couple things that we could do before next meeting, just that we're kind of both on the same page, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
I do think something that would help us, a strategy for next meeting, would be maybe throughout your week, just rip off a piece of paper and make a column of your pros and cons. And maybe if Monday, it's a stressful day and a hectic day, just go through Monday and just write a couple things down that just didn't go well, that you think could be improved. Like, your time picking up the children and your time going to work clashed, or, your son didn't get up, or your son had a rough morning, or just some things like that. Just write down some negatives, write down some positives, just things that we can analyze that'll help me get a better idea of your week. So that'd be good. Also, come to the next meeting I'd like you to have one day set aside that you're going to designate to yourself.
Okay.
Because I really feel that the more happier you are and the more you're able to relieve stress will help you not only with your family and your time management with your family, but also in your workplace.
Okay.
So that'd be good. Okay, well, I'm glad that you thought this meeting went well. How do you feel about next week? Do you want to meet again next week? Is that okay?
Yeah, that works for me.
Is the same time okay?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Then I'll see you at 3 o'clock on Thursday. Okay,
Right.
sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you. I'll walk you out, okay?
Okay.